there, John Shell, Corvette Power Top Service, New Haven, Indiana, which is a suburb of Fort Wayne. Just want to welcome you to this overview of a 56 Corvette. I've been wanting to do a 56 power top car now for many years, but getting a hold of one, and a nice one, a gorgeous one. Yeah, it came across my path. My customer, Mr. Bolta from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area, has brought the car to me to get the power top working. This beautiful Cascade green shoreline beige car is one of about 3,600 cars made that year. And I think probably 2/3 of the 56s were power top cars. It was a very primitive assembly. We're going to go through some of the switches, and I want to show you the difference between that and the 56, 58 to 62 model. As you can see, this car here has the dual floors. It has windshield washers and heater, power windows. A little over 500 cars made with power windows that year. Totally body off, restored, gorgeous car. And the first thing I want to do is I want to put the top down, because we're going to go into the trunk area, and I want to show you some things in there to point some switches out, some things that I have innovated to keep these switches from sticking. This was a notorious thing for the 56, was the switches that they were made by Arc-less, which this company is no longer in business. They had a real problem with sticking, and if one switch stuck, then the unit would not work. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put the top down so we can get into the trunk area and go from there. Chris, my son, is doing the video, and I think this is about our 14th video that we've done now. So I'm going to unlatch it here and get it unlatched. So on this 56 and 57, and we will go over this a little bit later, we have a push and pull switch instead of a toggle switch, which is down by the emergency brake handle. And I'm going to fold the top up. Mr. Bolta does have these straps on this. There's one on each side. You can get them from Al. This actually holds the top up, and there's a snap here on your frame in here. So I'll do both sides, and then I'll show you how I put a top down without using these. So we've got the straps around there, keeps the top up good and tight, and so we're going to come over here, and I'm going to pull the switch back. We're going to put the top down, so I'm pulling the switch back to put the top down. We got to unfasten this button here, and so this is loose, and I'm pulling the switch back to see the deck lid going up, top going down, deck lid back down. So that's the operation of going down. Let's go into the trunk area here, and let me get a pointer. One thing about the 56 is, on the 56, this safety switch right here for the trunk lid is on the left-hand side. 57 to 58, it was on this tower over here. This switch right here will not let the power top system work if the deck lid is up maybe that far, it must be at least, it doesn't have to be latched, but it's good to be closed down there like that. So this is just a safety switch right here. In 56, they made this cylinder shaft a little bit longer than 57 to 62. I don't know why, but that was probably maybe, the shaft is maybe a ½ inch longer. If you notice here, we have a paddle that's already riveted to this piece that screws onto the shaft. In here we have a plastic bushing and we have a pin. A lot of guys, they don't want that slop. This is slotted. We want to leave that slot in there for this movement to kind of relax once the deck lid is down or the deck lid is up. You notice we got 2 toggle switches here. These toggle switches have been the main problem, and the ones in this area right here are causing most of the problem. You can see that a little bit of slop in them, okay? This paddle comes up and hits both of these switches. Now, one of the switches is for the top going up, and the other switch is for the top going down. Now, I want to give you something here, and I will repeat it. This is the rule of thumb. These switches tell the convertible top what to do. The switches that we will look at on the gas tank lid, they tell the converter or the deck lid what to do. Let's go back over that again. These switches in what I call the trunk divider, these 2 switches, they tell the convertible top what to do. The ones that we will be looking on the gas tank cover, they tell the deck lid what to do. So, if the deck lid is going up, but the convertible top is moving, more than likely we've got a problem with these switches right here. If the convertible top is working and the deck lid is not working, more than likely we have a switch that is on the gas tank cover causing the problem. Now, one trick that I've done to keep these switches from sticking, see this little spring-loaded deal right here? I had a friend of mine that does my valves for me make me out of spring steel a little paddle that bolts on right here behind these nuts, and when the switches go up, this spring-loaded deal has to make them go down. It has to. They cannot stick. So Chris, can you maybe get another angle there or whatever, get a good shot of that? And this, like I say, this is made out of spring steel. I got the end rolled a little bit and a little bit of oil on these so they won't, so it moves freely on the we call them bat wing switches. Okay. So now let's go to, this is the reproduction motor I have made. A company makes them for me. And as far as the valves are the same from 56 to 62. There's no date codes on them or anything. But one thing in 56, this wiring harness was a little bit different than from your 57 to 62. I don't know why they made it different in 57 to 62, but anyway, it was a better connector than what these are. You can see that I've got the wiring harness coming around underneath over the top, behind the tower here, and then got these pulled out to go to the valves. And on this wiring harness here, you have a green wire going to this black wire right here, and you have a tan wire going to the red wire. This is the deck lid valve. This operates the deck lid valve. This port here
pushes the deck lid up. This port here pulls the deck lid down. On this one down here, we have a purple and a brown wire, and the red wire is hooked to the purple wire, and the black wire is hooked to the brown wire. This is your convertible top valve. This operates the convertible top. This pushes the top up. When it's down, this brings the convertible top back. So this is pushing up, this is pulling down. You can see I've got my hoses routed through the 3¼ inch, 3½ inch holes here. The factory, when they put this unit in the car, they had everything hooked up. They put it in here and they had the cylinders all hooked up, and they put them right through that hole right there. And so they didn't have to unhook anything. One thing I want you to see here, and I'm going to get more involved with this in the next video we're going to do on the wiring harness. See this clear up in there, Chris? Can you get a picture of that right up in there? That's where the factory originally had this wiring harness going. This wiring harness is no fun to put in the car, and I will explain that a little bit more in the next video when we deal with how to put a wiring harness in one of these. But this was where they put it in originally, and it was draped underneath over the wheel well, and there's a lot of glue in there. There's a lot of glue in there, and it's very difficult to get that wiring harness out. So I clipped it off. Didn't want to poke it through or anything because we're dealing with a very narrow cavity right in here. So we're going to take a little break here, and I'm going to get the deck lid back up, and we're going to deal with the switches on the gas tank cover. Okay, hey, we're back here, and I want to deal with this safety switch right here first, okay? This switch here, if the trunk lid and the deck lid cannot come up at the same time. They cannot be up at the same time. It's like a teeter-totter. If this deck lid is down, then the trunk lid can come up. If the trunk lid is down, then the deck lid would come up. This is a safety switch here to keep the top from moving if the trunk lid is up, okay? Or if the deck lid is latched also, it won't put it under power to try to move it. So basically this switch here is, the button has to be released here to have the deck lid popped up, and if it's not, then this switch is down, and the motor will just grunt basically. One thing that I want to bring out about this switch right here too is we know that everything starts with a battery, and there's a relay, and then it comes over to your push and pull switch. But as far as your solenoid valves and everything else, this switch starts everything. It's a 4-prong switch. And so everything from the push and pull switch, it comes directly to here, and everything starts on this switch right here. If you can see this switch assembly on the gas tank lid, this is 56 only. 57 to 62 had a switch assembly that mounted back in here, which was a lot better. They used a different micro switch. But this switch there's 2 switches here. One to cancel the convertible top as it comes up, and to cancel when the convertible top goes down. This little cover right here, and I took it off because I want to show some more details about this. This little cover right here mounts right here to protect things. We're going to take another little break so we can get this top up, and I want to show you some significant things about this switch assembly right here. Okay, we're over here on the passenger side, and we're going to deal with these 2 switches right here that tell the deck lid what to do. And so first of all, we have this switch right here. As the top is going down, we have this framework right here as the top folds into the well, when it gets down to the bottom, the framework will actually hit this switch right here and shove it down, which tells the deck lid what to do. The deck lid can come on down. Notice my little spring deal on this and how I rolled the edge here a little bit. This switch cannot stick. It's made out of spring steel. It bolts right in behind this nut right here. This switch right here, which has the hole in it, when the convertible top comes up, you can see that as it cancels, it will shut the convertible top off and tell the deck lid to come on down. Notice I have a little spring in behind there to cushion that. I have actually seen these arms bent. So I have a spring in here. And I bought these little deals right here at the hobby shop so I can adjust the tension. And then coming back down, you notice I have another one right here and a spring here. So when the top comes down, this spring-loaded deal, this hitting it, will make sure that this switch here does not stick. So again, this assembly is telling the deck lid what to do. Right here, pretty primitive. We have a little bracket here that the wire is hooked to. And so this right here is, maybe I can move that a little bit and show you. See that? See that movement? And then as the top goes on down, this will hit this spring to make sure, in case this did stick, it can't stick. And this arm right here will hit this here to bring the deck lid on down. So this is your switch assembly on the gas tank lid, 56 only. Get a shot of the hoses over there, Chris. You stand there, and I'm gonna get the hoses. These hoses here, you can see are fed through here. They've got little brackets, and then they protrude down in the convertible top bracket. Get a shot of this. This is where they go. They go down in here. They don't go out in here. They go down through here. So that is where they hook to the cylinders down in there. So I think we're about done there with that operation. We're here in the engine compartment. Just want to share with you about this circuit breaker on the firewall. It's a 40 amp. Now 56 and 57, maybe some early 58s used a circuit breaker. This guy right here, it has Wood Electric written right on it. Probably 56, all of 57, some maybe early 58s used the Wood Electric. I have found some 58s then, 59s, 60 up to 62, which had a circuit breaker called Little Fuse on it. Basically the same. You might even find some Wood Electric ones on your 60s and 62s. There's been kind of a mixture there. This wire right here is going down to your solenoid on the hot part of the solenoid where the battery cable hooks to. This wire right here is going to your push and pull switch on the inside, and this wire here, I believe this one is for his electric windows right here. So we got two screws here holding it. This is a like 40 amp circuit breaker, and I have seen them fail before. Maybe they'll get hot, maybe the top will be halfway up and they'll get hot, and all of a sudden everything stops, and maybe 6, 7, 8 seconds later it'll start up again. It's because this circuit breaker here is tripped on the inside. Here's an overview of his engine. He's got the dual 4s on it. He's got the 9-fin valve covers. Very nice. He's got the washer bag on the other side. Very nice detailed car. So we'll stop the video there and we'll deal with the push and pull switch on the inside. Okay, here is our push and pull switch. See, it says top on it. To pull the switch back, we're putting the top down. To push the switch forward, we are putting the top up. This has 4 wires on it, underneath it, and so that's what we're using to put it up and down. 58 to 57 also had this same style switch. 58 to 62 had the toggle switch then by your courtesy light in there. So, okay, this pretty much tells you, I think, the overview of this 56 power top unit. Very primitive. I've always said that probably Fred Flintstone was an engineer in this power top unit. And the wiring harness for this thing, which we will go through in the next video, pretty bizarre, okay? So he's going to shut it off again, and I'm going to get inside this car, and I'm going to put the power top up, and I'm going to put the power top down, and I'm going to tell you that I ain't got no power, but I work on power tops. Okay, say it's a beautiful day in October of 2022 in my backyard. Leaves are starting to turn a little bit, but anyway, it's a nice enough day that we ought to put the top down. And what I'm going to do is I have loosened these straps now that I originally told you about to hold up the back. I'm going to hold up the back this time with my hand, and I'm going to pull the switch back, and we're going to put the top down that way. So I'm going to lift up the back of the top like this, and I'm going to pull the switch back as we're putting the top down. So easy, isn't it? Now, we're out for a drive. Wow, it looks kind of rainy, huh? I better put the top up. So we're going to put the top back up. Deck lid going up. And this top is pretty fast. I'm going to stick my hand back here. And I'm going to lift that up like that. And we're ready for rain. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you learned some things from it. And I can't say I love working on power tops, but it's something that I've done for over 30 years now. I love to help people. And so remember, I don't claim to have any power, but except working on power tops. Thank you. Have a great day.